Alex, and I work for the St. Johns County Public Library System. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Kids Art Lab. I can't wait to share with you the artist that I discovered and that we're going to be talking about today. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, today's artist is Gyo Fujikawa. This is a photo of Gyo. She was born in 1908 and passed away in 1998. And you might be able to see that this photo is cropped from a group photo, and it's a little bit blurry. It was really, really hard to find any photos of Gyo Fujikawa, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. Okay, a little bit about Gyo's background. She was born in 1908 to Hikozo and Yu Fujikawa in Berkeley, California. She began drawing at a very young age and ended up pursuing art in college and university in California. She was able to go to a very prestigious college. And as a result, she was hired by Disney in 1939 to create promotional materials, among other things, for Disney, and eventually moved to New York to work out of their offices there. This was also during World War II. And because she and her family were Japanese American, they faced a lot of prejudice at that time. While she was living in New York, her family was still in California, and they ended up having to be moved out of their homes during World War II, which she was able to avoid being across the country at that time. Throughout her life, she illustrated many picture books and other commercial work that we'll talk about in just a little while. But at the time, her work was not considered what we would call fine art. So she was considered just an illustrator, not an artist. But as you'll see in just a little while, she was an amazing artist. So a quote from her that I really enjoyed was, she said, "I am far from being successful, whatever that means, but I am ever so grateful to small readers who find something in any book of mine." So those small readers were children who were reading her picture books, who were really able to connect with the illustrations and with the words. And obviously Gyo was very, very modest because she was very successful. Many of her books are still in print today. These are a few of hers: Baby Animals, Oh, What a Busy Day, and then Mother Goose, all by Gyo Fujikawa. All of those illustrations are hers. And when you look closely, you can see something a little different about these illustrations. I'll give you just a moment to look. What do you think? What stands out with Gyo's illustrations on these books? You may not notice it now, but these were very, very different given the time that they were published. So this is one of the spreads, 2 pages, from the book that she wrote and illustrated, Babies, in 1963. Gyo happened to be one of the very first illustrators to include children of color in her artwork. So that means that she included babies with diverse backgrounds, as you can see in this picture. At that time, like in 1963, that wasn't done. And her publishers advised her not to do it, thinking that the books wouldn't sell, but they did. People loved them. And you can see her signature style here. She was known for her round-faced babies and children with simple faces, just the dot eyes, and bright colors, rosy cheeks. They were very, very sweet. This is an illustration from the A to Z picture book that she published in 1974. You can see all of the detail in this page, all of the plants, the flowers, all the kids looking together and the little fairies, mushrooms, and the variation in color with the sky. It's beautiful, isn't it? Much more than just a commercial artist would paint, I think. So you can see some of her other work that she did here. She did work for Beech Nut Baby Foods, Eskimo Pie, and she even designed several stamps for the United States Postal Service. The one right underneath there, the Plant for a More Beautiful America, was painted by Gyo. And on the right-hand side, you can see an advertisement that she did for Beech Nut Baby Foods. So cereals look like picture books in Beech Nut Baby Land. So she did this whole advertisement, and she also did the boxes of different baby cereals that you can see the different animals and babies carrying in the advertisement. So very sweet storybook characters. Okay. If you'd like to learn more, there's a lot more to learn about Gyo Fujikawa and many, many other visionary women around the world in this book, Little Dreamers by Vashti Harrison. Please place it on hold, check it out from one of our libraries. You can also get the other books in this series by Vashti Harrison. We have several of them in our system, and I highly recommend them. Make great bedtime reading. Okay, it's time for us to make some art. And we are going to be recreating this beautiful spread from a picture book by Gyo Fujikawa. I loved how special this picture is, with the kids holding hands together in front of the tree, the little girl hopping there, the moon, all the branches and leaves in the tree, and the variation in the night sky in the background there. We're going to recreate this with watercolors, but you can use whatever paints you happen to have on hand. All right, sit tight and join me in just one moment. Okay, the supplies we're going to need today are watercolor paints, whatever you have, paintbrush, pencil, some kind of black ink pen, a cup of water, and of course, we will also need some paper. Okay, first we've got to go ahead and sketch out the picture. Draw your line across the page, taking it down the right, and then draw your tree with some limbs. We're also going to draw 5 heads for our kids. The last one should be a little bit higher since she's going to be jumping. Then go ahead and draw in their clothes and limbs. I'm going to make all of mine holding hands. Just like how that looks. And it's okay, you can go back in and erase as much as you need to. I tried to make it look like they were moving with their arms and their legs. Don't know how well it worked, but I think it turned out okay. Don't forget your moon. Next up, we're going to start painting. I started by painting in their skin first with different skin tones. And then while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and paint the tree. I used my darkest brown, and I even went back in and added black to it just to make it a really, really good dark brown. Paint your moon. And we're going to start with a light green, painting our leaves on the tree. And some yellow, and slowly but surely add in some darker greens. We'll do the same thing with our grass on the bottom. Just lots and lots and lots of different shaped blades of grass all over the page between the kids. And slowly start adding in some darker greens. You can mix some brown with your green too, to give it some more variation at this point. Okay, we'll add some more dark green leaves up there to our tree also. And now it's time to start coloring our kids' clothing. I let their skin dry because I didn't want the paint to bleed together, but oops, when I painted in his purple shorts, it bled up into his shirt. you can take a dry brush to suck up that paint that bled, and then once it dries a little bit, go ahead and fix it. Don't forget their hair. And I'm going to go ahead and wet the sky just with water, lots and lots of water all over the sky, and then drop in some blue. It kind of looks like daytime right now though. So along with the blue, I'm going to start dropping in some grays, some darker blue, and even some black to make it look like it's really at night and to give it that striped effect that Gyo had in her painting. Same thing on the left-hand side and between the limbs and leaves of the trees. You can add more water to blend all of those colors together. And now I used my darkest green to fill in the gaps between all of the kids, to paint below the tree, and to blend those different greens together a bit. Okay. Boop. Time to outline your kids, give them some faces, those simple dot eyes and smiles, and voila, your painting is done. Thank you so much for painting with me today. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Gyo Fujikawa. To check out more of our programs and events, please check out our website, SJCPLS.org. You can also see our videos on our YouTube page at youtube.com/SJCLibraryVid, as well as our Facebook page, facebook.com/SJCPLS. We've got lots more classes, programs, and events for you to take part in and watch. Okay, have a great one.